Hello and welcome everyone, I am Maddles and welcome to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today guys, I have got a game between frostRemarK, who is the red Protoss player in the lower right, who's up against frostSwarm, the blue Zerg player in the top left. It's a custom game. It is clearly a clan game between these two, so really looking forward to seeing how these two play each other, because obviously when you're playing someone you obviously are against an awful lot, you start learning what their playstyle is, what their strategies are, what their weaknesses and strengths can be, and as a result you can sometimes see some really funky strategies that you may not see on the ladder just because they're trying to exploit things their opponent won't expect. Now, being on a Hana, we should see a Forge Fast expansion out of Remark. We may even see a Nexus first, because let's face it, that is a really narrow choke area. From Swarm, we should see a 15 pull into a 16 hatch into a 4 to 5 minute third base, and that is pretty much all of the strategy that we're going to see in the early game. Again, whether it's a Forge first or a Nexus first, it depends on how happy Remark's feeling in terms of his confidence in whether he's going to get rushed or not. Now, let me say while we're waiting to see what these guys are doing, good news coming up. Zowie Divina tournament, it is on the 25th of November. It is at 5 AM till 10 AM British time, and obviously you can adjust for that. It is going to be an amazing best of 7. It's for $1,000 and it is going to be absolutely sensational. I'm casting that. I'll put more details up on my Twitter about it, so make sure you check that out. Also, the weekend after that, I am going to I-47, the UK's biggest gaming festival, and yeah, if you're going, say hi, that'd be great. I'm going to be doing all of the casting on the Friday. I'm going to do quite a bit of casting on the Saturday, and on the Sunday for the finals I am doing the observation. So basically, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I did all of I-46 casting and it was great fun, so I'm super looking forward to this. So do keep an eye out. There may be a bit of disruption to my regular schedule of games over that weekend, so bear with me on that. We do have a bit of probe micro going on here, trying to deny the hatchery going well. It was Nexus first as well from Remark, so yeah, this game pretty much going the way it should be. It's all fairly exciting, and as an early game ever can be, and well, looking on from this, obviously the Overlord getting good scouting information. The Overlord should come and sit back here, that way I can see gas timing, which is absolutely critical. No gas taken yet for Remark, which is fairly normal. Gas for Swarm, we shouldn't see any gas for like a good amount of time. You don't tend to get gas against the fast expanding Protoss until about 40 to 50 odd supplies, so that is all fine. In terms of other timings, obviously assuming Swarm is going to go for fairly standard things, he's going to aim to get his third base up in sort of the next 20 seconds or so up here. That is really the pretty much cornerstone of how you deal with fast expand. You're then aiming to get your Rotary on an evolution chamber up at somewhere between 6:30 and 7:30. And as long as that is effective, then, well, you're pretty much safe against any early air aggression, a DT rush, against early gateway pressure, etc. So that is really the standard. That probe coming to check up here, and we'll be interested to see that there isn't a base down yet. This is a bit later than you really want. At 4 minutes 30, it's really as much as 30 seconds over the mark. You're seeing more and more in the metagame that Zerg players are getting that third base out closer and closer to the 4 minute mark, some even beforehand, and it is just such a great way to play it, because it just means that you get that economy a lot quicker and you're able to deal with pressure a lot sooner, because the quicker you get the drones out, the quicker you can get units out, and then the quicker you can deal with any aggression towards the third. And that really says a lot about what Remark's strategy should be, and it's all going to be geared around this third base, as every Protoss strategy against Zerg is, that you've got to try and take this out. And if you do manage to succeed in taking it out, or at least dealing a lot of damage to the mineral line, or forcing a lot of units unnecessarily, then you're in a great spot, because you're a base up, or at least on equal bases as the Zerg. And the only downside is if you lose all of your army and don't do any drone damage, then you really end up in a position where the Zerg player is exactly where they want. They've got a base over you. The only other strategy you can go for is take your own third quickly, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that from Remark, purely because of the fact that he's getting up his robotics facility. He's not really trying to gear up for that. He's getting his third gas as well. Everything's gearing towards a 2-base play. Maybe Immortal Sentry, that's always a possibility when you see the robotics facility coming down. Could be something with War Prisms, a drop into the main could be effective. Could be a sentry drop, that also works very, very well, obviously with a narrow ramp, and obviously all of these are viable options. And this is one of the problems that Zerg player have early game against Protoss, is there are so many possibilities of what could be going on. So we'll wait and see exactly what's going to happen here. In terms of upgrades, we've not got any upgrades from the Forge yet, so that is a big tell in itself, that usually Bless me. Usually, obviously, the Forge, you're going to get some really, well, early upgrades if they are going to go for some kind of timing push. Also, you tend to see those upgrades if the Zerg player, or if the Protoss player rather, isn't aiming to go for a timing push and is instead just wanting to push to the late game, get their tech up, etc. Now, as you can see, we're at about 7 minutes, 7 minutes 20. The Evolution Chamber just finished. This Roach one is about to finish at about 7:30. So this is all fairly normal timings from Swarm, who's playing really, really solidly. We've got the first Immortal out. We've got 2 more gates adding on. That takes up to 4 gates. We've got the Sentry count getting higher. So this is definitely looking like an Immortal Sentry type play. And is this Immortal stuck? It looks like it is. Oh, that is some bad building placement. And I really, really hope the Remark notices, because if he cancels that, it'll be fine. If it is allowed to complete, well, he's suddenly going to be in a position where he's going to have to get rid of that building, and of course there's 150 minerals, and also he'll be a gateway down, which is really going to interrupt his timings. And of course he has now noticed the only other way to deal with this, of course, is to just get a War Prism to brute those units down manually, but we've got more gateways adding on, so this is giving up to be a very large 2-base play. For the moment though, Remark, he's, well, not got much to worry about from Swarm, who's really got hardly any units on the field, sitting there with 6 roaches. He's starting to get more in production now, clearly gearing up for this push. I don't know if it has been scouted. No, it hasn't, so obviously very little known in the scouting information. Those Immortals did get through. I'm not quite sure how they managed to get through. Oh, apparently there is enough space. That was really odd that the Immortal stopped there and just created a wall off. I'm really confused now. But obviously, as you can see here, this is a nice sized force. A lot of sentries, 3 Immortals. It is an incredibly strong build. And as you can see, the problem is the War Prism on its way. That's going to allow reinforcements. But a lot of Zerglings coming down here for Swarm at the moment. And if he gets a good surround, a good position, he's going to be fine. But all these units are backed against the wall force, which will be incredibly useful, but for the moment it looks like Remark is going to keep forward. I wouldn't go into the empty space in the middle though. The purpose is that this Protoss force wants to stay with its back against the wall, so as minimal force fields are needed, and it prevents the surround from the Zerg player. Obviously, this force is a lot smaller than that of Swarm's in terms of supply, but it's got a lot more powerful units. Those Immortals, brilliant. Those force fields, absolutely on the money. And, well, those Roaches are going to get taken out very quickly. The Sentries need to be careful, need to pull back. I'm surprised we're not seeing a counter-attack. That's something which is often a very good strategy, just a small Zergling run by into the main, but the wall-off is there, so that is actually brilliant forward planning by Remark right now. This push is still coming. The Protoss force is getting more and more strong. Obviously, the longer you leave it, the worse it gets. And, well, 14 Roaches coming out, that will definitely help a lot, but those 3 Immortals are going to be the big threat. If they're picked off quickly and focused down effectively, then maybe Swarm is in for a chance. He has got the supply advantage by quite a while, but the War Prism now in here, that's going to allow immediate resupplies, which is very strong. These force fields going down, not quite perfect, but again, splitting the Roaches away from the Zerglings, absolutely brilliant there, allowing this Protoss force to pick off a couple more Roaches, pick off a couple more Zerglings, which did manage to retreat. The Warpins coming down near endlessly, more Stalkers being added in here, just to help with the force. Again, protecting the Immortals is the primary goal. The Roaches coming in, the force fields do prevent some of the retreating units, allows some good shots to go off for free. Zerglings coming in from behind, a couple of Zealots there though. This is good placement. The important thing is these Immortals, they are staying up for the time being, and well, there is the GG from frostSwarm, who knows he lost. The micro, as he seems to think, was off the mark. So that was great play by Remark, and yeah, it just shows how strong that Immortal Sentry push is. How can you deal with that better? Pull back, be a bit more defensive, try and engage earlier on while the units are moving across the map. Don't allow the pylon to get up. A couple of Spine Crawlers can also help, but generally, guys, it is a tough strategy to pick. Anyway, if you did enjoy the cast, please subscribe, like the video, and leave a cool comment, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for yet another new game. Bye for now.